up, Twitch family? It's your boy Ismula, and you watching Ismula TV. We back with another video, man. Hey, yo, listen, man. Hey, shout out to Mrs. hooking me up with OBS setup. Now it's time for me to make sure y'all fantasy football league is set up for success. Now, due to many people watching this video, I may have competitors in my league that's watching my video, so I can't give away all my picks and all my people that I got on my radar for week 2, but I will have some tips and tricks for you. So check this out, man. Game of the week, as we spoke about earlier, we were keeping a close eye on this one right here. Turn on the Jets versus Top Shotters. Top Shotters, my boy Warren was down 549 points going into this game because he drafted, as you can see, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and he has the Buffalo Bills defense, and somehow, some way, managed to pull off a 994 to 940 victory against Turn on the Jets in week 1. I mean, this one came down to the wire. And let's check this out, man, because hang on one second here. Let's check this out because this was a game, and this was such a close game. So let's check out the box score here. Actually, let me slide this over real quick. Box score. Let's see how he got it done. All right. So Josh Allen went crazy, 324 points. Justin Herbert, 300 points. But what did it for him was Saquon Barkley with 218 points in week 1 with his victory against the Tennessee Titans. Saquon Barkley outperformed every single running back in my league. And that's saying something. He outperformed the top pick in the NFL fantasy draft, and Jonathan Taylor 195, Saquon Barkley 218 fantasy points in week 1. DeAndre Swift kept him in the game, and Cortland Sutton with his 76 points against the Seahawks was able to put him over the threshold and seal the deal for a week 1 victory, which is really something to keep in mind, man. Something definitely keep a lookout, guys. Don't forget about your bench. I want to give this note to you right now, okay? Do not forget about your bench. Points on the table here for Donovan. I was left, okay? Robbie Anderson, 132 points on the bench, okay? This column you see right here, this is what they did week 1. This is what they're projected to do week 2. Going to get some drop off from some players, but you cannot leave 132 points on your bench like that. Always make sure that you're taking a look at the week-to-week matchups to make sure that your players are in position to set your team up for success. All right. So in my league, okay, let's take a look at the scoreboard one more time. In my league, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4 teams over 900 points. 4 teams scoring over 900 points. Top Shotters was 6 points away from joining me in the 1K club. Yes, it is my league. Yes, I do have the best team. It just happened that way. It wasn't rigged, guys. I picked them fair and square, 1,093. So close to the 1K club, but I stand alone in week 1 at 1,000, which is good for me. I'm just going to try and take that momentum, but I can't sleep. Take every single opponent seriously. But right now, look at the standings on the East Division and the West. We got Top Shotters, first place in the East, followed by my homie Reem, Patriot Rolling in second place, both undefeated, 3 L's following them. And then on the West Coast, we have yours truly, Ismula TV, aka I Am Inevitable, which your boy Thanos there as my character. Week 1 victory. I'm taking on Timo's side this week coming up. He's also 1-0. And then we got Team J-Man, Jesse, in third place in that division. So we got some heavy hitters, guys. Let me take a quick look right now at this game, okay? So what I want to say to you guys is this. One, do not forget about your bench. Two, also, I'll give you guys some tips, right? I promise you I'll give you some tips, right? Here's a strategic tip, okay? What I do, if you like football as much as I do and you want to win as badly as I do, you don't just, when you're drafting your players, okay, we'll take a step back, right? When you're drafting your players, don't just draft your players based on the height, okay? Don't just draft them based on, oh, he's a good guy, I'm going to draft him. Oh, he's a playmaker, I'm going to draft him. You want to kind of take your feelings out of it. Two, look, if it's a receiver, look at who's throwing him the football. Who's your quarterback, okay? Do they have a quarterback that's going to get them the football, right? Is it a Tom Brady throwing him the ball? Is it a Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football, okay? So, like, for example, players like McCole Hartman, Juju Smith-Schuster might not be like you might not want to have them as your starting wide receiver, but because they have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, they could be a solid flex for your team, okay? Now, the reason why I say I take every opponent seriously, because you have to look at the week-to-week matchup. Let me give you an example, okay? I'll even use my team as an example for week 2. Okay, so week 2 right now, right? I'm going up against my boy Mike. Okay, both undefeated in the West Division. Okay, this is an interconference. This is an in-conference matchup. I projected to have a higher total, right? But there's always room for my team to improve. Okay, now I had Devonte Smith as my flex in week 1. He gave me 0 points. Okay, I was still able to win that game last week against my big bro. But the reason why is because he didn't pay attention to his bench. Listen, guys, if you don't prepare your team and you don't set them up for success, I'm going to take advantage of that. Okay? And I'll show you the breakdown here. NFL week 1. Look how much points my brother left on the table. And he put it on his bench. Check this out. Okay? 133 fantasy points for Christian Kirk on the bench. His starting wide receiver, 71 points. Okay? And I just know from experience, knowing my big bro, Mike Williams, and he's taking a deep threat, getting a ball. Yes, but how many times did Mike Williams catch a deep pass for the Chargers last season? Probably a handful of times. When did those catches come into place? Down the road, right? When they were trying to make a playoff run. So are we going to see that week 1? Probably not. And it worked out for my favor. Okay? And actually, I think he only gave him 12 points, honestly. Because this is what he's projected to have week 2. So he only gave him 12 points. Barely got the ball. Okay? Christian Kirk, I know he's not eye candy for a lot of the guys in fantasy league, but 133 points. Okay? Antonio Gibson, 137 points. Cordell Patterson, maybe you didn't expect him to be used as much as he was for Atlanta, but these are the type of things you got to take into consideration. 155 points, which in hindsight is always 2020. When I did the math, he still came up a little bit short against me, and that's not to my own horn or anything, but he would have been a lot closer. 998, okay, which would have mattered, right? Devonte Smith not giving me any production in week 1 could have hurt me, okay? Could have hurt me, and that's probably one for me where I probably let my emotions get involved a little bit, right? Devonte Smith, I'm thinking not necessarily that he's eye candy or anything like that as far as what he could do for my team, but I was thinking more strategically in a sense that, hey, they got A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's going to be the go-to guy. They're going to probably end up double-teaming him, and it's going to create opportunities for Devonte Smith to make plays. It looks like because A.J. Brown's on a new team, he's in a new system, defenses in the NFL haven't adjusted yet. At least the Detroit Lions didn't adjust because they didn't know what to expect, and he was able to take advantage. They didn't even need to target Devonte Smith at all, and they were able to come away with the win. So, and for me, I go back to the drawing boards, right? Hunter Renfrow got me 24 points. Robert Woods got me 14. Raheem Mostert, 33. J.D. McKissick, 33. So what does this tell me? If you're a team right now, if you're in fantasy football and your team is solid, what you want to be thinking is, how can I make my team even better? Okay? What this means to me is, right, I was checking out Jerry Jeudy. He was the last player to play on my team with my night football game. And I said to myself, my roster is going to be dependent upon how well does Jerry Jeudy perform, right? Elijah Moore gave me 54. I'm okay with that. Not terrible, not extravagant, but it's a solid 54 points. That means something, right? So if Jerry Jeudy would underperform, meaning he didn't score more than the guys on my bench, then I probably would have bumped up Hunter Renfrow to starting wide receiver. Devonte Smith, you earn yourself a trip to the bench. And now I'm putting one of my running backs in at the flex position, right? Because in my league, as we saw in my previous video, the running backs get a point for every single yard that they rush, which is huge. If a running back gets 5 carries, 36 yards, and a receiver gets 1 catch for 10 yards, a running back is getting some more points. He's going to give me some more points for fantasy as well. But Jerry Jeudy put on a show and became the 5th player on my team to break 100 in fantasy points, adding him to the list with Patrick Mahomes 405, Jonathan Taylor 195, Nick Chubb 154, Travis Kelce 145, and Jerry Jeudy with 131. So I have 5 players on my fantasy team scoring over 100 points, which is bonkers, okay? And I picked these guys up late, okay? So now what that tells me is that my flex position, it's open, okay? I'm treating this like a real, it's fantasy football. I'm treating I can't speak today. I'm treating this like it's an actual team. You got to fight for spots. You got to earn your spot on my team week in and week out. So my flex position is wide open, ladies and gentlemen. So that means Hunter Renfrow has an opportunity to step into that role. Robert Woods has an opportunity to step into that role. Raheem Mostert and J.D. McKissic. I got 4 guys that's all floating and tiptoeing around that 55-plus range that are hungry. They want to make the starting lineup. They don't want to be on my bench all season. And we're going to see what changes I make, okay? And I'm also going to tell you this. I have some picks pending in the waivers, okay? I've already recruited some players that's going to go into effect tomorrow morning. I'm not going to tell you who they are. Like I said, I might have some of my competitors watching this video. I'm not going to tell you who they are. That's your job. I gave you the tips. Look at your bench. Week to week, make your picks. And also, the value of this video as well, guys, also take a look at who they're playing. If you want to dive in deeper, okay? If you want to dive in deeper, right, you can take a look at the defense they're playing and how many yards that defense allowed. Let's say you got a couple guys, like let's say, for example, right? This is the last tip I'll give you. Let's say, for example, right, Raheem Mostert, I'm a fan of. So should I put him in my starting lineup? Probably not, right? Why? Because I let my emotions get involved with business, okay? But McKissic, I don't know too much about him, but he performed pretty well, right? Who are they playing next, okay? How many yards did that defense allow? Did that defense allow 100 rushing yards? Did they only allow 50? Did they give up 200? Maybe I put him at my flex, okay? Let's say Devonte Smith is going up against the Bills next week, right? Let's just say, for example, not that he's playing them. Let's say he's going up against the best defense in the league. Do you think he's going to be able to get open? Probably not as much for those catches. Maybe I put a guy for week 2 or week 3, like Robert Woods, who could be going up against the Jets, right? Could be going up against the Panthers, right? Not as strong in the secondary, even though they have, Baker Mayfield or not like a top 5 quarterback in the league throwing on the football. They might be able to make some plays, give you 5 catches, give you 75 yards receiving, which could be the difference in your fantasy football league. So that's why I wanted to definitely bring this video to your attention, guys. We are locked over here on the West Coast in San Diego. You watching Is Moolah TV on Twitch, man. Look at these standings, guys. I'll show you the projections. Highest points for right now, your boy is in first place. Warren, second place with 994. Mike, 931. Then we got my boy J-Man, 781. Turn on the Jets with 940. Okay. And the way the waivers work in my league is the team who finished last place, they get first pick. Are they watching the same players as me? I don't know. Trust me, you always got to have a backup to your backup plan. Always think about injuries. If your guy goes down, do you have somebody on your bench you feel confident with? Okay. If your guy underperforms, do you have somebody that you can rotate in and out with? That's the key to the game, guys. That is the key to the game. So definitely take a look at your team. Definitely start checking out, who your players are playing against. What defense are they going to be facing next week? Do you think they're going to have success? And if you're not feeling confident, check on the board. Check about trades. Look into waivers. See who else can get you those points that you're missing to continue to propel your league moving forward. But that's all the time we have for today. We got Boats and Hose versus San Diego Chargers going up next week. Top Shot is a Team Hall. Paydirt Roland and my brother going up against each other. Team Jamin and the Jets. And yours truly versus Michael Sai. So I'll be tuning in with you guys and checking in this same time, probably next week, and letting you know the week 2 recap. I hope you guys enjoyed week 1 of NFL. This was probably one of my most exciting and fun, enjoyable ones to watch. I mean, before we go, we gotta give a huge shout out to my G-Man, man. Coming away with the win on the road. I bet you didn't remember this. On 9/11, okay? They got the win on 9/11, which is huge. For those of you who old enough to remember the 9/11 attacks that happened in 2001. If you don't know, definitely, get educated on that. It's part of our history. But for Saquon Barkley to come back, we got new coach. We got our running back. The G-Man, I haven't seen him look this hungry since the last time they tried to make a Super Bowl run. And that's saying something to come out and make a statement against the Tennessee Titans, shutting down Derrick Henry the way they did. That's huge. I think, as a New Yorker, I got to feel pretty confident for my New York Football Giants going into week 2. I feel confident us getting that win there. So that's 2 wins. Going up against the Patriots, Mac Jones still could be injured. That's 3 wins. Okay. Wait, I'm looking at preseason. Sorry. All right, Panthers, like I said, that's a win. Cowboys, Dak Prescott is out. That's 3 wins. Okay, the Bears gets a young quarterback, Justin Fields, at home. That could be 4 wins. And then we play the Packers on the road. Listen, yes, we're going up against Aaron Rodgers, but after what I saw in week 1 with those receivers, I don't think he's confident. I don't think the receivers are confident. I don't even think the offense is prepared. Okay, let alone the defense. Defense didn't look like they knew what they were doing out there. So if they keep up that trend of not preparing well, that could be 5 wins. And then we might have a battle in our hand against the Ravens. That's a toss up. But I honestly feel like all the Giants have to do is just shut down the Ravens receivers. Just lock them up. Don't give Lamar Jackson anywhere to throw the ball to, and make him run the football 50 times for 120 yards. I'm sure he'll get tired, especially not having that new contract yet. I'm sure he'll want to stop running and run out of bounds. Okay. Then we got the Jaguars, which we can win. We got Geno Smith and the Seahawks. They put on a show, but how much of that momentum they're going to be able to carry come week 8? We got the Texans. We got the Lions. And if Dak Prescott's not healthy, we got the Cowboys. We got the Commanders. So this could be a really big season for the Giants if they're able to string a couple wins together, guys, and they are playing their best game. I'm saying there's a chance. For them to lock up their division. Let's go a little deeper, guys. Let's keep going. Okay, NFL standings. It's what you guys gotta do. This is what we gotta do. We gotta do our homework. Okay. Go a little deeper. Who they got in their division? NFC East. We got the Eagles, the Commanders, and the Cowboys. Dak Prescott is out. So keep us there at 3rd. The Commanders, they look good against Jacksonville Jaguars now. Do not write them off. But let's go get that win. Put us in 2nd place. Now we got Jalen Hurts, the Eagles, and that offense look electrifying. So we know the Eagles are our rivals. We gotta beat them, right? So we get to play them twice this season. So if we're able to get that win, put us in that. And the Giants have a huge opportunity this year to win out their division if they can stop Jalen Hurts and the Eagles and take care of business along the rest of the league. But this is if there's ever a season for the G-Men to be back, This is it. Alrighty, enough about the Giants. So let's move on. We're moving on. Bills took care of business with the Rams. We saw that, man. Rams are still hungover from the Super Bowl. Eagles, Lions. Eagles took care of business like we know they would. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts look like they got it going early in the season, which is low-key pretty scary. If you're asking me. The Bears and the Niners, I just love this game. Okay? I was a huge fan of Justin Fields at Ohio State. Trey Lance, I think he's got a bright future. But this, if you ever wanted to see like a old school 80s, 90s type of a football game, muddy, rainy, dirty, gritty, who's going to run the football the toughest, who's going to get the most plays, who's going to limit the most mistakes, this was that game. And it delivered, man. There was a monsoon in Chicago, and the Bears won. That's huge for Chicago. I know what it means for that city as well. For them to win and come away with that win, as Justin Fields being that starter, that's a big time game. The Steelers, fortunately won this football game. Defense played outstanding, but unfortunately they suffered key blows to their offensive defense. Najee Harris is questionable. They say he should be good. It's just a foot. Looks like T.J. Watt got a torn pectoral. So he's probably going to be gone for some weeks. And it looks like Hayward went down too. So they win this game, I think, in single to double overtime. But it came at a great cost. So definitely, we'll see how they bounce back this season. But once again, that division is wide open if the Steelers aren't healthy. And I'm sure Bengals will come back. Joe Burrow and the franchise there, they'll land on their feet and they'll do well. Dolphins took care of business. We don't got to spend time with that. I hope Mac Jones gets healthy soon for the Patriots. Browns Panthers, man, this was a gritty game too. My boy Nick Chubb went off for me. Thank you, Nick Chubb. Keep running that football, baby. Hooked me up my fantasy league. Jonathan Taylor and the Colts. Jonathan Taylor went off too. Got me 195 points. But it was a tie. I did not bet on these two games. Look at this. Nobody won this game. That's a dub. That's a loss. It's a tie. And only 2 points separated this game. If I had to pick a team, probably would have picked the Browns. But I would have bet on it. I did not bet on these. So I stayed away from these two games. And the Saints and Falcons. This was the rematch, guys. Understand this. Jameis Winston, 2014 Heisman Trophy winner. Marcus Mariota, 2015 Heisman Trophy winner. This is a rematch of Oregon and FSU. This game also didn't disappoint. I stayed away from Michael Thomas in fantasy football because he had a red Q, questionable in this game. No problem. Michael Thomas said, yo, I'm here. 2 touchdown catches. If you got him on your league, you probably had him on your bench. You're kicking yourself right now. Okay? Nobody expected this from the Saints. And nobody expected Michael Thomas to catch 2 touchdowns going into the game questionable. But kudos to the Saints, man. Give credit when credit's due. They played a heck of a game. And they got it the stops when they needed to. And they came out with the win. I also didn't bet on this game. 1 point deficit. 1 point deficit. Okay? Baltimore Ravens. Yo, kudos. Let's clap it up. Lamar Jackson did his thing. He didn't sit out. He loves football. He's playing football. And I honestly think, guys, he's just as talented as Patrick Mahomes. Somebody tell me different. If you put Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman on the Ravens, you saying Lamar Jackson wouldn't go to the playoffs? He couldn't make it to the Super Bowl? Okay? He is just as talented. I'm not saying he deserves $500 million, but I think he should be right behind him. He is just as valuable to this game as Patrick Mahomes. He should be the second highest paying quarterback in our league. Period. I would give him $350 million, $200 guaranteed, or if not, a little more. That's what I would give him. But let me know if you agree. Talk to me. It's open for debate, but I think he's outstanding, and he showed us today. On Sunday, he could pass the ball as well. He doesn't have to run and make plays with name the receivers, guys. Name the receivers. Commanders put on a show. That was a very entertaining game. I gotta admit, man, the Commanders really impressed me on Sunday. I love the way they played. I love the way they looked. They didn't have those 6-7 receiver guys, that they had like 5'10", 5'8" receivers making plays. You love to see it, man. These guys got heart this year, and they're looking pretty good. I think the Commanders are definitely gonna make some noise this season, and they got some dark horses, some sleeper guys. Nobody knows, some no name guys that people don't know too much about, and that's perfect because when you have players on your roster that are playmakers and nobody knows who they are, they don't scheme for them, which creates opportunities and openings on offense for your team to come away with the win. That's exactly what they did at home. And hopefully they could keep it going until they meet the Giants, of course, and I want them to be done. But but kudos. But I'm a fan of the league, man. I want the future of the NFL to be bright. I want football to keep going in the right direction. I don't want to just see blowout and blowout and blowout week in and week out. I want to see battles like we see in week one. I want to see these guys fight for every yard and put on a show. But I do want to bring one attention to the NFL and their players. Ball security, guys. I've never, as exciting as week one was, I've never seen so many fumbles in my life. I noticed, but I also got to give credit to that defense and the coaching staff because there's so much more technique and so much more skill in today's game and emphasis on helmet to the football, helmet to where the arm is, punching the football when he's upright, plucking the ball if you're trailing them. And they did a tremendous job in week one. So we'll see if the offense does a better job at ball security or the defense just continues to find opportunities to make plays and put their team in position to change the momentum and help lead them to victory. Justin Jefferson and the Vikings are looking ridiculous. 9 receptions for 180 plus yards on Sunday. The gritty monster is here to stay. Let me just say something. So he almost received for 200 yards in week one and was dancing the whole time. Like, yo, his motor is so high and the sky's the limit for that kid, man. That Justin Jefferson is a problem, man. My mama told me I could play whatever I wanted. That boy is a problem. Him and Jamar Chase, former teammates, my 2 most favorite young boy receivers in this league. I mean, are you talking about carrying the torch? They are carrying it, and they're low-key setting a new standard for what the receiver position is all about. Flash, skill, talent. I'm talking about elusiveness, hands, and just dang right, you can't guard me one-on-one. Just, you line up in front of me, you can't guard me one-on-one, man. And that's a problem. That's like a problem for any defense. So that's crazy. So I got to give a lot of credit, a round of applause to Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Man, they are some studs, man. They are some studs. And I'm so excited to see them perform on the stage and just continue to perform at such a high level week in and week out. They are our 2 top, I would say maybe under 25 receivers, if you want to say that. And Devonte Adams and Stephon Diggs are my top 2 route runners in the game. But I'll put Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, my top 2 playmakers, man. They those 4 receivers, man. That's my top 4 right there. As far as like what my favorite, it's not necessarily about stats and all that stuff. You want to put the stats in there, I'm sure they land in that category as well. But just overall talent and skill, elusiveness, hands, discipline, unguardability, those 4 guys, I put them against any DB in today's league, and good luck stopping them for 4 quarters. Chargers and Raiders. Man, that was a game. That was a showdown. Chiefs. Did Kyler Murray watch film? Who knows? But it looks like Patrick Mahomes watched a lot of film and carved them boys up. Shout out my boy Geno Smith, former teammate at WU. Literally took down his mentor, and a young grasshopper showed that he deserves to lead this team. And boy, did he look like a general and a commander of that offense on Monday night. I'm so glad that I tuned in. It did not disappoint. That what was that called? That Shoot, that crowd noise was damn near unsafe. If you're a Seahawks fan and you was out that game, make sure you get your hearing checked because it was so loud. It was at the volume where your iPhone would tell you, please turn the volume down. And that stadium was not going to turn down for nothing. They were going to cheer for their guy. They were going to support Gino. They were going to back him and give him the confidence that he needed to lead this team. And they did just that. And the defense of the Seahawks, with 3 stops on the goal line? Yo, the 12th man, Seahawks was looking good, man. They're looking good. Buccaneers do what they have to do, and I hope Dak Prescott has a speedy recovery. All right, guys, we're going to week 2. I won't get into too much of these games right now. I'll tune in. I'll check back with you guys next week. We'll talk about the post-game recap for the Fantasy League. We'll talk about the post-game recap for these games. Maybe I'll drop another video before the weekend hits to give you guys my picks for the week, and you can let me know what you think. You watch Ismaila TV on Twitch. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Let's go. Peace.